All right. Cool, yeah. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about scheduling. And this is like a workshop where I'm going to go over a few tips. I'm going to go over a few goals that we want to have when we do schedule. But more so, I want us actually to create our schedules and like take advantage of this time so that today's Wednesday, right? The team meeting's tonight. Can we hear me, by the way? Because I know I have my windows open. Is it like bad or are we good? Nope, good. All right, cool. So yeah, I want us to take the time, get our schedules ready for tonight so that we're just like as prepared as possible. Yeah, again, I'm going to talk about scheduling. We talk about scheduling a couple of different occasions, really big in training. We talk about it at team meetings a couple of times. David Kirkner talked about it literally in the divisional meeting on Monday, because it's just that important, right? It's so important to know how to schedule, you know, how to block off everything you need to block off and all that fun stuff. So some of you guys are gonna think I'm weird because of this, but I actually like planning. I like scheduling. That's why when we were, like Victoria's looking at me like, what? Yeah. So I like planning. I like scheduling. So when we were coming up with workshops that we could do for you guys to help you guys, I was like, I'm gonna do scheduling right away, right? And I like knowing what's going on. So that's why I have everything in my planner and my passion planner. I actually dropped off a little bit when things went virtual about a year ago from planning and scheduling. And what I realized was that was a huge mistake. Like it was such a big mistake. I was actually more stressed. And I started taking control of my schedule again. And once I stepped into this position as pilot sales manager, and I just don't know what I would have done if I hadn't known how to schedule my time. Especially when I started off as still a freshman in college, and I did it throughout my whole sophomore year of college as well, being a pilot sales manager. So if I didn't know how to schedule my time, I don't know what I would be doing right now, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. And this is why it's so important to me, right? And also for you guys, to put it in context for you. So when I started this position when I was a senior in high school, right? I was towards the end of my senior year. And I learned from Owen and from Lily how to schedule my time in a way that makes sense, in a way that's not going to make me feel like anxious about what I'm doing every day. And because of that, I was able not only to go like really hard my first summer, like as hard as I wanted to, and get all the experience from it. When school came in September and I was a freshman in college, I was able to schedule my time and, you know, schedule around my classes so that I did exactly what I was doing. Like I did exactly what I wanted to do in terms of demos, and I still got all my schoolwork done and all that fun stuff. So scheduling is really, really, really important. And what if you do it, if you take advantage of it and do it the right way, then it could look really amazing for you guys. So having a standard for myself and just having a plan allowed me to hit my goals while feeling calm about it. And I wasn't stressing about what I was going to do and like what I was going to do next, right? Like what I was supposed to be doing. For the summer and pushes, right? We just started the SEC push. Having my goals in mind and keeping a strong schedule throughout allowed me to just go after the push I wanted to, while making sure that things that were important to me, I still had time for, right? Because you need that, you need a little bit of balance for that. So those are just some of the reasons why it was important for me. And I hope you see how it could impact you guys. And I know you guys already know how important scheduling is a little bit, but what I want to do, like I said, is I wanted to tell you guys why it's important, but I more so want us to set up our schedules, right? That's what I want us to do today. I want to take control of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring up the basics of scheduling, the things you learned probably in training and probably haven't even heard since, but I feel like a lot of us lost our way in scheduling, and I want us to bring it back to it. So you guys already know it's important. I just want to show you guys how to do it. And I'm going to walk through the steps I take for scheduling very quickly. And then what I'm going to do after is I'm going to just walk through it slower, step by step, and we're all going to do it together. Does that make sense? All right. So the steps for scheduling are: one, obviously having your schedule in front of you, right? Two, when you have your schedule in front of you, the first thing we do is block off all of the things we have going on for the week, all of our non-negotiables. Three, knowing your goal and the standard for how many demos you want to do that week, so that you know your goals and you know what you're working towards. Four, deciding when you want to do those demos and adding in things that are work related, like phone jams, team meeting, all that fun stuff. And five, just fighting for your goals. Those are the steps I take when I was a representative. And so what I want to do is I want to just go through those steps with you guys. And so who here has like a paper planner, like a passion planner, a weekly planner that they write in, that's what they schedule in? None of us. Okay, so what are we using for scheduling?
Google Calendar.
Google Calendar was Charisma.
Yeah.
What else are we using for scheduling?
Yeah, my phone calendar and the training sheet.
Okay, cool. I like that, Ayla. Victoria?
I usually use like the calendar, but I recently, like this week, started using like the rep calendar. So
All right. So if none of us use like a paper planner, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have all of us just go on to the calendar that we have for you guys, just to make everything easier so that we have everything in front of us. Google Calendar is really good, by the way, but the ones we give you already has stuff for the job in it, so you don't have so much worry about putting those in. It's just a step quicker. So what I'm gonna do is we have three separate calendars, one for people in training, one for normal, and we made one for the push. So the push started either Monday or yesterday. Owen could correct me. I don't remember if it's right after the divisional meeting or yesterday, but it started, right? So we have the push schedule for you guys. The sheet that we were giving, Pull Money. So this is the push schedule, and I'm gonna open it up with you guys so I can share my screen. All right. Can y'all see the screen? All right, so this is the push schedule. You may have made one when we showed it to you guys a couple of days ago. If you have not, I'm gonna show you guys very quickly how to make the schedule. So this is the template. Do we all see the arrow right here? Okay, so what you would do is you would hit the arrow and you would hit duplicate. And then you would put your name here so that we can start editing that. Okay, so let's do that very quickly. I'm gonna just delete this. Let's do that very quickly because like I said, I want us to walk through these steps and create a schedule for ourselves. We all see the link in the chat? And I'm gonna move on in a second when I see everyone's copies in here. Does anyone already have a copy in here, by the way? I think Armani does. Yeah. Anyone confused on how to make the copy? Okay. Okay, who am I waiting for to make this copy? I only see Armani's in here, if I'm being honest. Victoria.
I made a copy. I put my name on it, put it next to Valerie's.
Okay, cool. Victoria.
I made a copy too. I don't know why it's not showing my name, but I made a copy.
Maybe it's just in a different spot. Let me check. Did you put your name on it?
No, I didn't. Maybe that's why.
That'll be why. Okay, I don't even see like where it could be there. Oh, I see it now. I see a copy of schedule one. All right. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
We are making a copy of this push schedule with our name on the bottom tab.
All the pronouns, waiting.
Okay. I see Petrus is in there too. All right, so that was the first step, right? Making sure it's in front of us. I think Ryan Ohl is the only one who, I don't know why every time I say Ryan's name, I have to say the full time. I have to say Ryan Ohl. It's like a famous person thing. All right, so everyone but Ryan is in there, and we have a copy. So that's the first step. Step 2 is blocking off your non-negotiables. So what that means is, the reason we say non-negotiables, by the way, is because we don't really like the term like obligations. This is actually Owen taught me this, and something I loved since he taught me it, is that like when you say obligations, that's something like that you have to do. And realistically, people would kill for some of the things we have to do, right? Like school was an example before the pandemic. Like we say we have to go to school, but like how many of us when we were in the middle of the pandemic where we were like, oh my God, I wish I could go to school, right? So we say non-negotiables because we don't want to take anything for granted. So non-negotiables, we're blocking off any of them. So everything goes in, whether you're still in school, whether you have family stuff, if you do family dinner, whatever it is, laundry, time just hanging out with your boyfriend or girlfriend, any clubs, at literally anything you have going on. For, I would say, like, let's focus on this first week, but if you know what you're going to have going on for today until the end of the push, do that too. So that's our first step. Let's block off anything we have going on. Does that make sense? All right. And I'm going to just like pick someone's schedule randomly and see like how we're doing with progress on it. And so the push schedule started on the 3rd. I just want you to make sure you are starting on the 9th. So we're blocking off all of our non-negotiables. Victoria, I literally don't know where yours is.
I added my name, so I don't know why it's not showing now.
And by the way, do we all know how to like highlight everything and make it a different color when we're blocking it? Okay, I just want to make sure I don't have to teach you guys that. Another thing I highly suggest, guys, is when you're blocking off your non-negotiables, like if you highlight a couple of things for, let's say like you have class, I would make sure you delete the dollar signs in there. And I'm going to explain why in a second. And I would also put, like, if you block off a couple of lines, I would put why, like I would put the word school in there just so you have that for yourself. Ayla, are you editing it? Petros, do you need help?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna give you guys another like minute and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing. All right, how are we doing? I saw head nods. Is it like that early? No one's like, I'm not gonna come off mute. How are we doing? Do we got all of our non-negotiables down? Ayla's good. Armani's good. Victoria's good. Ryan, you need another minute? Are you good?
Yeah, no, I should be fine.
Okay. All right, cool. So that was so yeah, blocking off our non-negotiables, what that does, it just lets us see like more of a realistic schedule of everything, like every other time that we could possibly do presentations. So now with all of your non-negotiables in there, you know, times you're hanging out with your family, times you're hanging out with your girlfriend and boyfriend, or times you're you know, doing laundry, you know, eating, whatever it is, like whatever you have going on, school, other job, whatever. Make sure you have like some fun things in there, right? You want to make sure that you have like, oh, I'm going to, you know, the zoo with this person, this, whatever it is, like make sure you have everything in there that you know you want to do, and especially things that are like gonna let you have fun and, you know, hang out with your friends. The next thing is, with that in mind, now you have a more realistic expectation of what you could do in terms of schedules, right? Before, if we didn't have a schedule, you could be like, I don't even know how many I could do. Now you have a more realistic schedule. So looking at your schedule, and we took off the dollar signs in the places where we blocked off our non-negotiables. The rest of their dollar signs are places where you could potentially do demos. And I want you to look at that. And in the chat, I want you to send me a private message with the goal of how many presentations you want to do from today to next week, to Wednesday. For today to Wednesday, I want you guys to tell me. Actually, let's do today to Monday. So with knowing your schedule, with having that in front of you, we could see how many presentations we can do. Send me your goal, looking at your schedule, of how many presentations you want to do from today to the end of the day Monday, and send it in the chat to me. Nice, Ayla. Okay. I like that, Sydney. All right, waiting on a couple of people. It's today to the end of the day Monday while looking at your schedule. These look like push numbers. I like it. waiting on Armani and Ryan. So when you're looking at your schedule, did I miss your message? No. When you're looking at your schedule now with all of your non-negotiables, right? And you see how many potential demos you can do, I want you to just tell me how many you want to do by today to the end of the day, Monday. And send me a chat with it. So now that we know how many demos we want to do from today to the end of the day, Monday, now is the time to start putting in the dollar signs and keep them in for the times that we want to do them at. So now we have to put some thought into when we want to do these presentations. And by the way, if you want to do 10 presentations by the end of the day, Monday, I wouldn't only have $10 signs in there. I would have a couple of extra, and I would book a couple of extra if you want to get 10 done, because some people are going to cancel or reschedule, and you want to keep that in mind. Does that make sense? So now is the time. So let's put in the schedule. Let's put in the dollar signs for the times that we want to do those presentations at. And that's just going to help you a ton, by the way, having those dollar signs in there, so that when you're on the phone with your customers and you have your schedule in front of you, you're not just offering a random time. You have the dollar signs to be able to offer them the times you actually want to do presentations at. So let's put in those dollar signs. Ayla, yours is looking good. I like it. All right. Do we need another second, or are we all done with that part? All right. right, very quickly, even if you're not done with that part, because you could add this in. So obviously knowing your goals, knowing how many demos you want to do and all that fun stuff, you have to put some thought into when you're going to be phoning to make those demos, to book up those presentations. So everyone has the team meeting tonight with the phone gem included in it. But if you're going after, you want to do 10, 12, 15 demos from now to the end of the day Monday, who here has booked, maybe aside from Charisma, who here has booked 10 demos in one phone gem? Charisma's a badass, I'm not gonna lie, she's definitely done that. Okay, so in that case, we need more times to phone, right? So you have all of the phoning times in your schedule currently. We put all of them in for you, but let's make sure that you know you're going to be attending, which one of those you're going to be attending, so that we can decide, we can make sure we're booking up the presentations that we do want. Does that make sense? So if you haven't finished putting those dollar signs in, let's put those dollar signs in. Let's make sure we know which phone gems we're going to go to book up the presentations that we want, so we hit our goals by the end of the day Monday. And then I have one last step for you guys. This one a little bit longer than I was expecting, but I'm glad that we could all make our schedule together. I have one last thing afterward, and then we can make up some call. We can make some calls to book up those presentations that we want, right? Yeah, set that up good. We all got our schedules in front of us. It'd be so much easier now. All right, who needs another minute? All right. All right, we all good? All right, cool. And obviously, guys, you can continue to work on this, right? This is your schedule. You can continue editing it. You can continue doing anything you want to it. But the last tip that I had is fighting for your goals, right? So this is what your schedule looks like so far. We set it up, right? This is an amazing schedule. Some of you guys have never had like this setup of a schedule before, but now we have it. The last step is to fight for those goals. So we just created it. We figured out what our goals are. We figured out when we're going to be doing them. Don't let things mess it up for you. Right? If you didn't book the demos you wanted to during the team meeting phone gem, right? Like I mentioned, make sure you're making extra calls to get the demos you know you wanted already. You can't just accept things that happen to you if you're trying to have a strong push in general. And if you're trying to just hit your goals, right? And you need to fight for the results you want. So if you plan to do a demo, for example, at a specific time, you plan to be working, but you weren't able to book one for whatever reason, take that time to still work and phone or do something that's going to impact your results, which is something that David Kirkner said at the divisional meeting as well, right? Another example, if your customer tries to reschedule on you, share your goals with them and tell them why it's so important. See if they can keep the time, and if they can't, schedule it for soon, right? Schedule it for a time where you still have a slot open, but soon, so that you're filling up your schedule and you're still hitting your goals, right? Too many times reps just let things like that go. They just let it happen to them. But in a general sense, we want to make sure we're hitting our goals. And right now we're in a push, right? We want to make sure we take the extra steps and go the extra mile to make sure we're doing everything we want to do to get the results we want to see. Does that make sense? Any questions over like literally anything, guys? All right. Does anyone feel like good about their schedule? Like anyone feel better having a schedule in front of them for when we start like voting and doing all that fun stuff?
Yes, definitely needed this.
Okay, cool. I love that. I love to hear that. All right. So that is everything that I have for you guys. I highly suggest all of us, especially with our schedules in front of us, start making some calls and trying to book up those presentations that we want for the week. Some of you guys sent me numbers that are like 10, 12, 15. So go after it, right? Let's start making some calls, booking those up, and let's crush this push. Yeah? Yay? Thumbs up, head nods, smiles. We're ready? All right. I'm gonna stop the record.